Hi, it's Chainfrog Bates here, and in a previous video I mentioned that the generation of certificates is far slower than the generation of the random numbers required for Chainfrog's IoT provisioning using a blockchain system. So I thought I would actually demo that. So here I have in a terminal a command that repeatedly generates the random numbers that our invention requires, and then produces a hash using the SHA-256 hash function in order to generate what is published on the blockchain. And as you can see, if you know Bash, what I'm doing here is I'm timing it with the command time, and then I'm doing a loop where I do this 100 times, and I am generating random numbers using dev urandom, which will work fine if, for example, you have a random noise source, such as a thermistor plugged into the computer. Otherwise, it's using noise from your computer processor itself. And finally, outputting the SHA-256 output. So let's run that now. There we go. And as you see, that was a quarter of a second to produce 100 values for provisioning 100 different IoT devices, or if you felt like it, provisioning one IoT device with 100 different capabilities of producing certificates. Now, if we look at the second command, and this one I'm only going to loop 10 times because it takes much longer. I'm using OpenSSL to produce an X509 certificate, and pre-filling it with my company's details. Obviously, in a production system, you would be putting in different identifier for each certificate. And if we run this one, so just 10 loops this time, not 100, you'll see that it churns away. So we've made 3, 4, 5, I think 6. So it should be done fairly shortly. There we go. 10 certificates in this case took 8 seconds. So as you can see, the generation part using traditional X509 certificates loaded onto the devices is going to have this extra delay that using our system won't have. And if you think about it, what you're doing here is you have all these IoT devices with processors that they are not using a lot of the time. And with our system, you're offloading the effort of producing the certificate onto the device itself. And as a result, you're getting access to 100,000 or 1,000,000 processors to each individually make a few certificates, rather than relying on one production machine in your factory to produce them all. So I hope that illustrated the improvement in efficiency nicely, and I hope to see you again soon in my next video. Feel free to ask any questions if you have in the comments below, and bye for now.